So, what we're suggesting is that rather than letting an unwanted event train your vortex, train your vibration away from the vortex, train your vibration into compliance with unwanted things, where you just sort of go along with it because it's happening, we want you to be aware that you have the power of focus. And we want you to be aware that when you know what you don't want a little bit, you put its equivalent in your vortex. So when you sort of don't want something, you sort of want something, and that sort of wanted thing goes into your vortex. It's equivalent. It's the specifics of what you do want are equivalent to the specifics of what you don't want, and other way around. So by the time you've built something into this pathway of what you really don't want, you have, without knowing it, constructed a really specific what you do want over here in your vortex of creation. We call this vortex of creation. It's the bounce and the holding place where the evolved version of you is held in vibrational readiness for your attention to it. It's there. Now, if you're talking about manifestations, then you're probably not all that interested in these vibrational thought ways that have been carved out. But we want you to understand that the vibrational thought way that you've carved out is going to manifest depending upon where you eventually light in terms of your vibrational readiness. So we want to say to you, you can let unwanted things train your vibration into a match with what you don't want, and law of attraction will show you the evidence of where you are. Or you can let the vortex, which is the holding place for all things wanted, train you into a vibrational frequency, and the manifestation of those wanted things will show themselves to you. But what we really want, what we really want, what we want more than all other things put together, what we want, Jerry's always saying, Abraham, what do you want? What we want, 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 is that you will accept the construction of these thought ways prior to their manifestation. Because if you will accept the thought ways of these creations, if you will accept the creation of your vortex, if you will accept the creation of the unwanted things, if you will accept that they are being created by your attention and therefore by your creation of thought ways, if you will accept that they are being created long before they manifest, and you will pay attention to how you feel during the creation process, two things will happen. Two really good things. One so much better than the other, but we're in disagreement with you about which one is the better thing. Two things will happen. One thing is sure, the manifestation of what you're focusing upon the most will happen. It will happen. It's law. It will happen. It's a done deal. It's a sure thing. It will happen. You will get what you are vibrationally active about. Better said, you're getting what you are vibrationally active about. So one thing, it will manifest. But the other thing is, and this is our favorite part of all of this, is that when you accept that this vortex is spinning and that this vortex contains the I know what I do want part of everything that you've been living, when you accept that and you let that vortex train you into vibrational compliance or alignment, then every step of your journey, even before the manifestation begins to reveal itself to you, is fun. It's pleasurable. You're frisky, you're full, you're inspired, you're enlightened. You feel that energy, you feel that enthusiasm, you feel that passion. You feel what a creator feels when you're moving in the direction of who you really are. So we want to remind you that the emotions that you feel are nothing more than, and oh, is it ever important what they are? They are nothing more than your indicator about whether you're moving down a thought pathway towards something unwanted or whether you're moving down a thought pathway towards something that you are wanting. In other words, every time you feel negative emotion, it always means the same thing. You're moving toward unwanted and away from wanted. Every time you feel positive emotion, it means you're moving toward wanted and away from unwanted. In other words, you're the focuser of all of that, period. There is no getting around it. So when you use excuses like it's interesting, or it's happening, it's a world event, and it's happening, and I don't want to be unaware, when you use excuses like, well, I need to be informed, when you use excuses like, well, it's true, When you use excuses like, well, I need to explain it to someone, or they don't get me unless I really get involved, or I won't be taken seriously unless I have a really objective viewpoint about things. There are all kinds of such flawed reasoning, bogus reasons that you use for your explanation of why you focus away from who you are, that we come and get a little rowdy in our explanation that you are the creator of your experience and you are building constant thought waves. And you have come with the intention of selecting and joyfully moving down those pathways for the constant, never-ending, extraordinary discovery of what this magnificent universe can dish out to you as a representation of what you've got going on vibrationally. Years ago, Jerry found a book. It was called Think and Grow Rich. As he read it, he felt on fire about it because it taught him things that he did not consciously know that he knew. And as he read the book, it left many questions for him. Sometime after Jerry and Esther began their work with us, Jerry was making a presentation, a lecture in Phoenix, and a crowd about this size was listening to him telling a story from the book. And as Esther was sitting in the audience, new to Abraham, not new to Think and Grow Rich, not new to Jerry, new to her beginning understanding of vibration, meditating every day, having trained her vibration upward through meditation, so much so that she was now in clear communication with Abraham. As Jerry told this story that Esther had heard him tell many, many times, she felt herself infused with the energy of something unknown to her. And she found herself having to cling to her seat in order to be seated. And then she realized that she was receiving some sort of energy from someone similar to what Abraham is, but different, pointedly different. And then Esther realized that Napoleon Hill was blowing and flowing through her. Tears running down her face of his appreciation for Jerry's presentation of something from his groundbreaking, record-breaking, powerful book. So when Jerry finished his presentation, Esther rushed to the stage and said, come with me now. Come with me now. Come with me now. And she dragged him to the car in the parking lot where Jerry sat and visited for an hour or more with Napoleon Hill. Jerry said, I've loved your book. It was transforming for me. He said, I know. Jerry said, if you were to do something different now, what would you do? He said, I would explain where it came from. I would talk more about infinite intelligence. I would talk about vibration. I would explain the vibrational dynamics of creation. Jerry said, why didn't you? He said, I did, but they wouldn't publish it. So Jerry and Esther proceeded down their path of visiting with Abraham as we put back into the context everything that had been edited out, talking about vibration. Then years later, Jerry and Esther became involved in a project. It was to be a television presentation. It was The Secret. Of course, you've heard of it. And as The Secret evolved, which was to be its original contract with Jerry and Esther, it was to be a presentation of the work of Abraham. And as Jerry and Esther made their presentation, and we recorded many hours for the producer, everything that was remotely directed toward the idea of vibration was edited out. Again. Because this physical world that you live in apparently doesn't want to know about your vibrational root. But in your unwillingness to explore the vibrational beingness that is you, you miss everything that matters. If you aren't willing to address yourself as an extension of the vibration of that which is source, then you have no way of knowing what your relationship is with that source that is within you. In other words, if you don't have some central vibrational frequency that you are tuning yourself to, you have no guidance system. And it is so interesting that every person on the planet, every animal on the planet, everyone who exists in this physical form, every one of you have emotions that are your indicator of the vibrational frequency between what you have evolved to, what's in your vortex, who the source within you is, what the current vibrational state of every single thing that you've expanded to is, and where you stand in this minute with the thought that's active in your mind right now. So when you're focused upon something that is unpleasant to you and you feel that negative emotion within you, that's your indicator that while you certainly have the free will to explore it, and while it is certainly all right with everyone who exists for you to activate a vibration within you, no matter what it is, that negative emotion that you feel is your indicator that you are off the signal of that which you have evolved to. You are off the beam of who you really are. So then, years after that, Jerry is in Salt Lake City. Esther is there visiting family. And Jerry is in the bookstore and he sees the strangest looking, old-fashioned, funny cover on a book. Think and Grow Rich, it says. Original manuscript. Jerry's heart is beating fast as he snatches it from the shelf. He buys it, and then he buys the version that he had been reading through the years, took it back to his hotel room, and while Esther is visiting with family day after day, Jerry is in the hotel room going through the book line by line by line, marking what's in each book. And when he was finished, he discovered all of those missing pieces that had been edited out of the original manuscript put back in. You know what they are? You are vibrational beings. You are vibrational beings. You live in a vibrational universe. Everything around you is vibrational in nature. And the only way that you can ever sort it out is by being aware of what the vibration is that's going on. In other words, we have through the years taken the subject of vibration light years beyond where it was then. The point that we're making with you here and now is that unless you accept the vibrational nature of your being, and unless you pledge to yourself that you will be aware of the emotions that you are feeling, and unless you are aware as you think thought by thought, as you build these pathways one by one, you can never really know how it is, how powerful it is that you are the creator of your own experience. We just want you to know life isn't fun unless you're doing it on purpose. And when you are doing it on purpose, then it feels to you, and it is exactly this way, that the entire universe is backing you up, wrapping you with a blanket of well-being, always, always there to deliver to you not just generally what you want, but specifically what you want on every subject. You get to carve it out. You get to look through the catalogs of life. You get to sift and sort and throw into your vortex. And then, friends, you get to vibrationally tune yourself to the frequency of who you are, and you get to experience those two powerful representations of the frequency that you have accomplished. The manifestation and the wonderful feeling of expansion as it is unfolding. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. We see it as our best value to you to keep you on your signal of what you are wanting. We will listen to you briefly about whatever it is you want to talk about. But you're going to discover we are not very excited about assisting you in continuing to build the pathways and the thoughtways and constructing the process toward things that you do not want. There is just no justification, there is no value, there is no reason to spend any time in explanation of what you do not want. Because in all that you've been living, you've created a vortex of accomplishment that is vibrationally accurate and is in real time. In other words, right here and now, the vibration of who you have become is active and available to us and to you. If you are in Australia right now, it is tomorrow. That's so strange. Jerry and Esther just love that odd feeling of being in Australia and calling back to the office in Texas and saying, we are living your future. It's really good. You're going to like it when you get there. And of course, that's not accurate, is it? Because whether it is Saturday in California and Sunday in Australia is still now.